Hello, everyone. Today's episode of our Everyday Hero podcast is dedicated to English speakers. Today, we're going to talk about everything there is to know about working in Portugal. And yes, this is for you who's thinking about coming to Portugal and taking a job offer. So, before we start, let me introduce myself. I'm Maria João Lourenço, Business Operations for Randstad Professionals. And today, I'm with Diana.
Hi everyone, I'm Diana Queiroz, Manager of the Engineering and Industry team at Randstad Professionals.
So we both work on recruitment and selection for middle and top management positions at Randstad. So at the end of our conversation, please feel free to search over Randstad Portugal's website for opportunities and apply to the ones that are most suitable for you. We'll be glad to help. So Diana, let's start. The first step, whenever you want to start searching for a job, is your CV. We many times say that we have a small fraction of time to create a big impact. So your CV is like your ID. A recruitment, or in this case, a recruiter, must be able to quickly scan you. So what do you think, Diana? What do you think are the must-haves when writing your CV?
Yes, so before all, it's important to share that unlike other countries, Portugal doesn't have a specific CV model. So you'll have to be creative about your CV, using any model or creating one of your own. The first thing you have to understand is that your CV is not for you. It's about you, and it must reflect you somehow and reflect your value. And of course, you must identify yourself with it, but your CV is for others to see. So you must always think, is this an attractive CV for someone who reads it? This takes us to the second thing we must all understand. There is not a unique valid rule or standard about what is a good CV. There are some key rules, okay, but not a single one, like the one-page rule or other rules that we see around internet tips a lot of times. So basic rules are, of course, not to be too extended, either in information content and in pages. Avoid big sentences and entire paragraphs so that your CV doesn't have more than 2 pages in general, of course, but if you are a senior professional, the 3 pages will be okay. Second, to have bullet points describing the experiences and functions that you performed. Empty descriptions or just the position title don't help the reader understand what you have done. And third, and please always send your CV in a PDF format. This is crucial for 2 reasons. First, no one will edit your information. And second, and the most important, it will not deform. There's nothing worse than read a CV that is confusing with information misplaced. Just an additional information. Portugal doesn't have a criteria concerning photo or no photo, so it will be to your consideration. But please, if you choose to add a photo, make sure it is a professional one and not a photo of you on the beach or at a party.
Yes, of course, yes. Good tip. So, okay, now you have the next step, which is sending your CV. This implicates searching for opportunities and also companies in Portugal that suit you. Don't you think, Diana?
Yes, this is one of the most important steps in searching for a new opportunity, especially abroad. This phase will help you to adjust your expectations because the opportunities in Portugal for English speakers, they are very different depending on the area we are talking about. For instance, to engineering and industry segment, this is an important skill, but most of the time the professional must also have some level of proficiency at Portuguese because there are functions with a straight relationship with more operational professionals, such as the shop floor operators. But other areas like the contact centers, IT companies, R&D companies, energy sector, these companies are more likely to have opportunities for you.
Yeah, okay, so that takes us to the interview, the dreadful interview. And I think we should clear out that an interview should be perceived as a conversation rather than an inquiry about your life. So the candidate should have a calm and objective perspective about his or her ambitions and dreams. And what about you, Diana? What do you think should a candidate prepare for an interview?
Well, attending to this context in particular, there might exist some specific aspects you should take into account. First of all, you must know the best you can about the company, the product, and most important of all, where you could fit in. Of course, this could be more difficult to some companies than others, but that research must be done. This will give you important information to the interview, giving you touch points. For instance, describing your experience with a similar product or with a similar business area, or a particular interest you might have in company's product or business area. You might not have experience in anything related, but if you demonstrate you researched about it and you have interest in it, that will give you points. The second aspect, and just equally important, your motivation. Why did you choose Portugal? Have you get informed about the bureaucratic and legal process of coming to Portugal? How aware are you of the salary bands and our cost of living? The daily routine of companies is overwhelming. So in an interview, the more you are prepared with this information, the easier it will be for the company to recruit you, even because this shows a high level of motivation. This doesn't mean that the company will not select you or help you if you don't have this level of preparation. But the truth is that will be a huge facilitator. Being the person selected, the company will be willing to help you in other aspects, such as the accommodation and the legal questions after you have a job contract. So this previous preparation will definitely be relevant.
Okay, yeah, I also agree with that. And in terms of, for instance, cultural differences, so in your case, do you think that English speaking countries and Portugal are in complete opposites? Or is the job market that distinctive? What's different in Portugal then?
Right. This is a very interesting topic because we are definitely very different. The thing is to discover if you will love it or not. But I think that most of the time foreigners love it. Portugal is known for having a top integrative culture. We receive everyone very well. We are very nice and helpful. Besides this, you will find a country that has everything someone might like food, wine, beer, culture, nature, beach, and so on and so on. In a professional context, we have a way of working that almost contrasts with this, because we are very serious in our working context. Okay, we are known for getting late everywhere, even at professional meetings. But besides that, we are definitely very serious. This means we are committed employees. We are very focused on finding problem-solving solutions, whether they are ours or our colleagues. We give more hours to the company if necessary. We take our function and our job very serious. So we definitely differentiate ourselves even from other South Europe countries, because we integrate on one hand our culture of good living and on the other hand our work focused way of living.
Yes, yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. So, next question. So, what about languages? We always talk about globalization and how connected we are compared to what it was 10 years ago, for example. So, do you think that being an English native speaker is a plus nowadays? And is it a plus for Portugal's job market?
Well, yes. Being an English speaker has been increasingly valued in Portugal's job market, but I think we still have a long way to go. Our companies are still very traditional concerning knowing the candidate presentially during the recruitment process, and this can bring difficulties because the candidate may not be yet in Portugal and may have availability to come to our companies, but they usually don't pay the travel. So beyond this, as said before, Portugal companies privilege an English fluency, okay, but most of the time with some basic level of Portuguese to due to essentially the function that will have contact with workers who don't speak English.
Yeah, okay, right. So during these challenging times, which advice would you give to candidates that are looking for an opportunity in Portugal, Diana?
Well, above all, prepare yourself. If you made that decision, you must be motivated. So the next step will be preparing yourself in every aspect, knowing that it might not be easy getting an opportunity, but once achieved, you'll be very well received.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so if we could sum up everything we said, I think that the message that we want to share with you is to really focus on what your ambitions are and go forward. So don't
Yes.
be afraid to fail because mistakes are what makes us grow. And in such a competitive market, you should be able to stand out from other candidates. So build a creative CV and an objective CV, be confident and honest during the interview, and most of all, highlight what makes you different from others. Okay, do you agree with Diana?
Yes, definitely, Maria Jo.
Okay, so everyone, thank you for listening to us. We believe this guide will help anyone interested in working in Portugal. So make sure to follow Randstad Portugal social media. And Elena and Andre will be back next week. Bye bye.
Bye.